you have to deliver the short term to earn the opportunity to innovate for the future.
Yes. Hello, I'm Ruhanen, and welcome to One Step Ahead, a series of short, incisive interviews with some of the most ambitious, brilliant marketing leaders from around the world. We unpack their unique approach to innovation, we start to look at how their go-to-market strategy is changing, and we try to take out of it the lessons that hopefully we can apply to our business that will lead us to growth. Today, I'm joined by Mark Weinstein, a good friend of mine and a brilliant leader. He is the global CMO of the Hilton Hotel Group. He's been listed in Forbes' most entrepreneurial CMO list. He's been on the Billboard Brand Power Player list for some time. He is a fantastic leader.
Start the clock, let's go.
All right.
I think marketing disruption starts with knowing who you are. It starts with what your unique purpose is in the world, so that you're innovating for the sake of your brand, that you're innovating on behalf of the customers you're trying to serve. You're innovating in service of something and not just innovating for itself. I think it involves being curious, making sure that you keep asking the question, what if? Could this be possible? What if we did it differently? Knowing the things that you want to hold true and stay constant, but also allowing yourself to evolve with the customers, the trends, and the market conditions along the way. To me, there are two components of thriving with innovation. First is curiosity. Reward people who ask the question, reward people who break the rules, don't punish them. And I think too often, in the spirit of brand safety or being in part of a big corporation, we want to penalize people for using a tool they shouldn't use or working with a partner that's not officially on board or sanctioned. Those rule breakers, I'd rather have them push too hard and harness them back in. That's a culture of innovation. I think the second part is being in the room, being with our agency partners at Omnicom and sort of other partners we work with. You're not in a room guessing the trends, you're in the room with folks making the trends, that are betting on the capabilities, that are making the investments, that are willing the future into existence. And so it's not about prognosticating, it's about finding those trends and riding the wave together. It's a great question. To lead in culture, first and foremost, again, you have to be confident in who you are. There are certain conversations our brand just doesn't have a credible place to play in, and so many more that we do. And so how do you focus on the ones that are credible? How do you look for the big trends, the macro trends, the slow-moving culture versus reacting to the fad of the day? Fad of the day is interesting, we can do that on social media, but we need to make sure we're thinking about the bigger picture for those customers. So I think it's taking a little bit of a step back sometimes, not taking the hype cycle and just leaning right into it necessarily, but also acknowledging that while your brand purpose and mission and all the values you hold dear and what you stand for in the world need to not evolve because they are your bedrock, how you go to market will. Where your customers are will, the cultural touchstones and moments. We had a bit of time to think about how to disrupt, and we were encouraged by some folks at Omnicom to try to disrupt ourselves. The message became clear. The hotels were missing from the narrative. We were taking ourselves out of the story. It was this eat, pray, love, goji berry on the white empty beach. You couldn't tell if it was an airline, a destination, or a hotel company. But what is the common thread in those brands? What's the common thread in what's not being said in the market? It's the stay. It's this idea that no matter what happens, how you get to us, when you cross our transom, the unique combination of great design, great technology, and most importantly, great service culture from humans delivering hospitality, that's when the stay starts. Make no bones about it, we are in the business of people serving people, and I don't see that going anywhere, nor would I want it to. But how we connect with customers, how they discover our brands and dream about our brands, that's being massively disrupted and evolving using AI and other technologies. How we enable 500,000 team members across the globe to deliver something consistently, like automated upgrades for our Hilton Honors members, or the ability to choose your room and go right to the room using your phone, that has to be enabled by technology. And it's friction in the travel experience, not joy. What that does is free up 500,000 people to talk to you about where to go for dinner, or what to do for your kids at the beach club, and make the humanity come back into play. And what I love about where AI is going is, while I think it'll help us create new ways and connect with customers in new ways, what is the antidote to a world where everything online you can't necessarily trust? You're not sure if you're talking to a human or a computer, you're not sure if the image you're seeing is real or not. The antidote is having an in-person experience. It's going out to dinner with your family, it's taking a photo of your kids on the beach, it's staying in a great hotel and unlocking a real human experience. And only people can experience that as a human traveler and as a human team member. The humanity of the stay is really what I'm most passionate about, even as we use every piece of technology to change how we create, how we go to market and buy media. Look, I think the first thing is you've got to play with it and try it. I mean, nobody knows where this is going, and I think, it's cliche, but today it'll be the worst you've ever seen AI, right? Tomorrow will be even better than today, and the next day and the next day. I think for me, what's interesting about it, what's fascinating, we see it working with your teams all the time, is that it's leveling the playing field for creative. If I'm being honest, I think in the past, some of the creativity in the world was dying on the vine because of lack of resource. There wasn't enough money to produce that. There wasn't enough data available to folks. There wasn't the capability to bring it to market. That's now equalized. So in this world, now we're dealing with a situation where the best creatives can just create, and they can do it for a tiny brand or a ginormous brand and has the same level of access to these tools. I think that is fascinating. What it does do, though, is it challenges the team to think about not how to replicate the human behavior with the technology, but how to do it differently, just fundamentally rethink it. And that's the part that I think we're not talking enough about yet. Is it's not about automation, it's about reinventing our creative process. And at the other end of that, I think is going to come some of the best work the world has ever seen if we harness it with curiosity, intellectual curiosity, and this sort of passion for doing the thing that's never been done before. I think too many marketers, and I don't say this flippantly, don't really understand how their company truly makes money, or is focused on the ultimate outcomes of the business and how the board is talking about it, how the street is talking about it. And so my ability to have those opportunities, my ability to lead parts of marketing and ultimately now all of marketing has come from talking the language of business. It's been talking to investors about how the thing we're doing over here is not just a pretty picture or not just lovely creative, but how that brand essence is buying us more effective performance media downstream. I think the second part to that, to your question, which is again, the hallmark of my career, has been you have to deliver the short term to earn the opportunity to innovate for the future. Yes. And our ability to drive the quarter, our ability to drive performance for each franchisee, you might get it wrong a little bit on the margin, one quarter to the next, but you don't have a lot of runway to not be delivering performance. And so the innovation comes on the heels of that. The innovation comes, the ability to do that comes from knowing that you've got the business under control today. You can take more risks if it's not necessary to deliver today's performance. So I've got a team of people making sure that with CRM and some of the current capabilities, we're driving that business, while also freeing up investment, time, money, and people, and time with our agencies to think about the future, the big ideas, the disruption that can come downstream. That's how I've made a career at Hilton of being at the table. Impatience. My sort of frustration with, could it be better? Could it be different? Can we do something different? And I don't mean that our teams aren't doing great work, but this sort of relentless restlessness of what can we do differently? What can we learn from that? What are we doing over there? Can we go capture that energy and harness it over here? I am restless. I know my time at any given opportunity in a campaign, in my career, in life is limited to some degree. It's going to always be finite. So this restlessness pushes me forward. I'm always figuring out the next thing we can do. It makes my team nuts probably somewhere along the way. You have to make sure to stop and celebrate some really great successes on that journey. We've got great people doing great things. But I think that's what really fuels me, is that that we have this incredible brand, this incredible experience, this incredible legacy, and what a gift it is to get a chance to write one of the chapters of that book, or maybe two if we're lucky. But the ability to realize that we don't have unlimited time to do it, and that restlessness energizes me. I wake up ready to go. Sometimes a little sleepy on the road, but fortunately I'm in a Hilton bed, so it's always a good night's sleep, but yeah. Oh my gosh, you can't, that's like having a favorite kid. I'm sure you have one, but you would never say it publicly. No, like my favorite stay is the last place I've ever been, but I am a big history buff, so anywhere that has great history and the hotel can connect me to that. Great food culture, I just came back from Japan, incredible. The Middle East, growth trajectory out the wazoo. I will confess I am much more of a luxury person, day in, day out. I love watching our teams do those little touches along the way. Our lifestyle hotels have cracked the code on that too, but it'd be hard to pick just one hotel.